All right. We got the Park It Podcast, episode 6. I'm here with my man, Seth, Michael, the Riss, Serrano. I don't know where the Riss should go in there.
Wherever you want. It doesn't matter. It's God bless you for knowing about it.
I I own an album. I own the
Yeah,
thank you for recycling.
I give everybody the album.
Yeah.
I'm so in the red on that thing. Doesn't matter anymore.
Okay.
You know.
I
Yeah.
can't remember. Like I'm out of the game. Red's not good, right? That's
Right.
bad. You
That's
want to
how
be
I
in the
mean.
black.
I had to think about it. Yeah, but that's what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm never
would they get you for the samples, the packaging?
no just paying the guests more than anything, and packaging and stuff like because I'm a terrible salesman.
Okay.
Like that was the main problem.
We can't all be salesmen, Seth. We can't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty bad too. Like I'm bad enough though that like I'll actually end up in the scam. Like I sold cut code knives for a minute. I used to do political canvassing. That's a scam. Like I have not enough shame to like avoid the scam, but I've got enough shame to like quit. Like,
I'm just not a joiner in anything. So
mm,
I avoid a lot of scams that way, I guess.
yeah. So
I'm
no
such a
foreign currency for you. No Bitcoin.
No, I have Bitcoin. I like
Nice.
I'm one of these Robin Hood idiots. You
Oh
know?
yeah. Like how deep into it? Because like
But
I
I started way before this whole GameStop. I started playing with the stock market because I couldn't bet on sports.
mm, mm.
Like so
that
like
that's
it's
the
like
that's the Barstool Sports entry, the Dave Portnoy.
that's what I heard. It's funny, I got interviewed by the New York Times about it
I
because
think I saw that. Yeah.
yeah, I posted it around, but because like this guy Matt Phillips, shout out Matt Phillips, he's a financial writer there, you know, and
Nice.
he saw me tweeting about just that about playing with stocks because he couldn't bet on sports, and he was writing it. He was wrote the Barstool is part of the article too, but
Yeah.
then I'm quoted in it as well.
Yeah.
Front page article.
Nice.
My
Hey, look,
name didn't come up till page whatever, but
but you were in the article.
stories on the front. The stories on the front page.
Nice. Well, you're not uncommon. It's part of my business to know that people like you exist. um, there's a lot of that right now. There's a lot of people that are stock trading, kind of like day trading if you're going by the Portnoy um,
Yeah,
method.
my brother suggested it to me, and then I just started playing it back in like March of last year.
That was a good time to buy.
Yeah,
Shit's
and
probably doing well.
I did just fine.
Yeah.
I did like hardly anything. I did like really well on like a tiny amount of money,
Hmm.
and I was like, I'm gonna see if I can do that again. And I've done pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So I've done it. I paid down a credit card I've had following me for years. I've almost paid that off just like playing around with the stock market. So
yeah. The global elites wanted us all to think that we were too dumb to do
yeah,
that. Like it's basically like a company wants to be profitable. You got to
yeah,
be bad at business at that level to like fuck that up. So like rich people are just like, oh, I can put my money here and I'll get more money than like putting it in a bank account. All right.
right.
And most of the time it works.
Yeah.
Pick some good companies. Don't go like crazy. Like my buddy bought some this stuff called the symbol's OCGN. It's called Ocugen.
I have
And
some.
nice, nice. Well, look, it's a good stock if India uses them for their vaccine.
Yeah.
If not, I don't know. It's probably still a decent stock. You'll probably still make
Now,
money.
yeah, it bounces around.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them just bounce around. If,
Read,
if you can read a graph, like
yeah,
you can like you could kind of understand basic math. You could kind of like you'll do all right.
yeah.
Like you know.
So being interviewed for that, like, did you like where were you when the Wall Street bets, like the GameStop hype, went down?
Oh, where was the interview?
Well,
The
like I
interview,
guess more like
interview was like in last summer, but
yeah. Were you part of the like? Did you get into that
I
GameStop shit?
tried. I was too late.
Yeah.
Like I tried to jump in, but I did get some of the stuff they were restricting you from buying,
Hmm.
but not like much of it.
Okay.
I'm a pretty low risk, like I'll throw some money at stuff, but not a ton. Like I have a decent amount of money in the stock market now compared to like the average human being, I guess. Although
Sure.
maybe not anymore. I don't know. People are nuts with this shit now.
Yeah.
But what was I talking about? But like I tried. I couldn't get GameStop. I got like AMC and Nokia and some other bullshit, but I got rid of most of it. Most of it wasn't. Although AMC shot up today because somewhere some announcement to do with movie theaters happened today.
Yeah.
That was positive.
See, like AMC to
So that
me
went up a lot
feels
today.
like I'm sure this isn't what people were expecting from this podcast, but AMC to me feels like one that you're all right. Like the theater's going to do okay. GameStop was a little shaky. GameStop was definitely shaky when it was trading at like 200. I'm like, that's insane. But
Well, it just
trading around.
shows that it's all fake. You know?
Yeah, yeah. See, that's what we call the fundamentals, right? Like if your company is insolvent or not profitable, perhaps they shouldn't have a better market valuation than I don't know Apple.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, here's how I know the stock market's crazy. Is I know Tesla's like valuable. It's obviously a very valuable company, but it's like 20 times more valuable than like Microsoft. It's like it doesn't make any sense.
Tesla is more valuable than every American car maker, like 3 times over. It's
Which doesn't make a ton of sense to
no,
me.
it doesn't. It doesn't. But it's all about Elon, man. It's not even about the cars at this point. It's about hopefully this
Have
crazy
you
South African genius will keep making shit.
have you followed the Dogecoin saga?
I followed a little bit. I'm not
It's so
I'm not
ridiculous.
heavy in cryptos.
It's ridiculous. Well, it's this cryptocurrency it's worthless because it's like an unlimited supply of it
Right.
somehow. I don't know the technicalities behind it. I just think it's fun to play with these things. But right around the GameStop stuff, it started it went from like less than a penny, which is what it usually hovers around at,
Right.
and jumped to like 2 cents in
Well,
like a few hours. And like every time Elon Musk's talked about it, it jumped in price.
that's funny
But
as
then it
hell.
just goes down because there's an unlimited supply of them.
Sure.
But like there's this cult around it, and every time Elon Musk, I'm pretty sure is just trolling them.
Yeah.
Like, and it's insane. It's the
I'm
most
sure
insane
he's
thing.
trolling them, and I'm sure he's playing both sides of the of the market.
But it's people are throwing thousands of dollars into this worthless cryptocurrency. I
Yeah.
don't even know if you can use it. I don't know. I have no plans on ever using cryptocurrency.
Cryptos are getting there, right? Like I find that like you said kind of like the culty aspect of it, sort of like
Yeah.
every time I talk to people about crypto, it's either people that are just like money has to have gold behind it, or it's nothing, which is like your money doesn't, right? or it's like crypto's the future, man. Like we're like in the matrix, and it's like it's somewhere in the middle. There's some good ones, like Bitcoin's pretty good, and
Yeah.
the idea behind it makes sense. Like Dogecoin is a hey, but look, money's money if people are willing to trade it. But
Yeah.
Dogecoin's a joke. Like
Right.
it's literally a joke, and
Yeah.
it's actually funny that it has value. Like that is the joke. And
Yeah. Yeah.
we don't have to pretend like we're gonna buy our like Jetsons, Back to the Future hoverboard with Dogecoin. But
Yeah.
PayPal's starting to deposit Bitcoin soon. The banks went in, so like crypto is going to be in the game.
Yeah, it's so crazy volatile. It's I just feel like for it to become a mainstream currency, like which
Mhm.
like is where anyone you ever meet who's really into it is sure it's going. Like the worldwide currency will be Bitcoin. People
Yeah,
will tell you.
I don't know about
Like
that.
I think the hurdle is if I'm trying to buy a cup of coffee with it and it's the price has changed from the time I ordered it to the time I
That's a problem.
get my wallet out. It's hard. It's
Yeah,
inconvenient. That's all. That's all.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Plus, um, let's just call them the states. Like governments with armies and weapons don't want your
Right.
meme coin devaluing their currency.
Yeah.
They'll figure out a way to stop you.
Yeah. That's the other big hurdle.
I
You
like
know?
it as a not as like a mainstream currency, but I like it for different things. Like on a global scale, I think that if you're in a country like we're used to a stable U.S. dollar, but like there's plenty of foreign currencies that are just they
Right.
go crazy, right? So I think it's good for like converting money. Like people like Western Union, they move shit around. So like I like it for that. Replacing the dollar, no, I don't think so, but maybe
Yeah.
someone's gonna be in the comments like "fuck this guy, he's stupid," and it's just like, nah, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
like,
it's just inviting all sorts of ire
mhm.
for denying the magic of Bitcoin.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. When things become magical, that's when it's a problem, right?
Yeah.
Like the GameStop thing. Like I love it. It's a great story. The tale of the little guy versus the David versus Goliath. Um, Look what we did to the hedge funds. It's like kind of one hedge fund, sort of, for like an afternoon.
Right, right, right,
like,
right.
like the story is way out of proportion at this point. But hey, it's fun. I like it.
Yeah, the more I learn about it, the less it's that. Because obviously the other people that know what the fuck they're doing,
Mhm.
like hedged against what they were doing. Like, so
Right,
it's not like you can't play both sides of this. You know what
right,
I mean?
right. Yeah,
Like
like
some smart hedge fund knew this was happening, jumped in at the beginning while GameStop was going up, and then sold at the top.
yeah.
Like, it's not that hard.
Well,
You know what I mean?
it's like our media in general now. Like everyone's like, look, yeah, take that Melvin Capital, and then like BlackRock was like, yeah, we just made a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
BlackRock made their earnings for the year off of
Yeah.
GameStop, man.
There's a
Like,
when I first started doing Robinhood, I'm like, why is this shit free? I'm like, there's you just have to pay to trade stocks. I'm like, something's going on. So I like researched it, and it's like, yeah, they sell your data, and that's the main thing.
it,
I'm like,
it,
yeah, I figured that, and then I was like, you know what, that's fine because I'm gonna do this.
yeah.
I'm
Look,
like, I'm gonna do it well, and I don't want to pay to trade. And this
it's
was
like
before the
everything,
game
man.
was silly.
It's like everything because like you're a rapper, like there's a barrier for entry for everything, right? Like you don't just get like a street pass, right? Like you might have to pay the troll toll, right? And like the same way, if you open a business and you want to use Visa or Squarespace, every single dollar you swipe, they're getting their cut, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with Robinhood, which is one, they can front run your trades, which is interesting. But two, it's like, look, it doesn't really make a difference to you. It does make a difference in the grand scheme of the world. They are kind of fucking you over. But at the same
Right.
time, it's like, well, you can't afford the access to that game. So, like,
Right.
like none of us can. So the fact that it's free is like, all right, look, you can take your little scraps, let the big boys do what they do, and
Yeah.
you might be able to put your kids in college.
Yeah, I can use these scraps
Mm-hmm.
if they're
Scraps are
useful.
good. Scraps are better than nothing.
Like, look, I'm at my heart a very left-leaning individual, but
Yeah.
while this is here, that's kind of my attitude towards it.
I'm a
Like,
filthy
I don't
capitalist that
like
people
I don't
like.
like the thing, you know. I don't like the thing being there, but I'll be damn, I'm gonna try to use it.
That's where I'm at these days. It's like, it's right there.
Yeah,
It's right there. What am I going to put it into a bank?
I said to my brother one day, I was because I'm very people that spend lots of money on lotto tickets bother me, which is hypocritical because I bet on sports constantly.
Sure.
But I was like, if you just took like people that do that, if you just took the money you were spending on scratch offs and just throw it in the stock market in good companies, like on Robinhood or some shit, over time you'll have yourself a nice little thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And or if you just and you'll have a better chance of getting lucky that something will blow up than you will playing scratch offs probably.
Some of the dumbest shit in my portfolio. This is not stock advice. I am not giving stock advice. I'm talking only about some things that I've done. But I bought some Peloton. I bought some like Snapchat. Like I bought Snapchat when I was like, this is stupid. And like I bought it for like $12. It trades for like 60 now. It's like, all right, cool. Go
Yeah.
go Gen Z. I love you kids.
Yeah, man. My
Yeah.
best move was I had a bunch of shares of this company called Plug Power,
Hmm.
and they're like a hydrogen uh thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know. Yeah, I barely even understand what these companies
yeah.
do.
Who cares?
But it was cheap and it looked, I don't know, it looked promising for some reason to me. And I forget what I initially bought. I bought and sold it so many times, it's hard to remember. But I initially got it was like $2 or something. It's trading at like between like 50 and 70 the last few months.
Yeah.
You know, and I cashed out on it like a month ago, and it hasn't gone up much since. So I feel very
Nice.
proud of myself.
What I love about kind of the stock game is that like everyone trades off the headlines. Like you're kind of like normal people. It's like
Yeah,
when Trump got kicked off of Twitter, right? And a bunch of people on the right wing were like, "Oh, that's it. We're fool. Look, the stock dropped 20% today. Take that, Twitter." And I'm like, check back next week. Like, it's
yeah.
like this is a blip in the radar. And it's like if you're paying attention long term, like that's really all of this stuff. And honestly, it's in a lot of ways, it's all of our lives. Like every day we kind of focus on one thing and we're like, oh man, like today is like Tiger Woods, like fuck Tiger Woods, right? Like that's today's story. And then tomorrow there's gonna be another story. But like
It drove me crazy because it literally was today's story.
it is, right?
I turned on the news when I was doing whatever, and I turned on ESPN, and it was all Tiger Woods. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I turned on CNN, and I'm like, and then I turned on CNN like an hour later, and still they were just talking about
Yeah.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's nothing else. Oh, how much news about this is there?
It's
It's insane.
It's the story, they think people want to read about it. I mean, it seems like he's going to be more or less okay, which is good.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
good to keep legends around for a little bit. That guy's a legend in so many ways, dude. Like, can we talk about? It's our turn to talk about the legacy of Tiger Woods. Little black kid playing golf on fucking whatever show with fucking Bob Hope,
Yeah.
knocking putts down. Makes his way all the way up to the Masters. The first black person to ever even be allowed to play golf at a professional level was in like 1970 fucking 8, basically. That's how racist golf is. And he just took that shit by storm. And you know what? And then he did some shit that, like, honestly, not every single, but like many other white golfers have been to a Waffle House and took down a waitress or two, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
he just got caught. Classic lesson: don't get caught.
Can't tell me John Daly wasn't
oh my god, savage.
wasn't doing that in a Waffle House at some point.
Yeah. That one to me, it gave me kind of like Britney Spears vibes. Like when she cut her hair off, it was like, why are we doing this to this guy? Because the Danish the babysitter, you know what I mean? Like we don't even know her name, but we were all like, oh, how could he do this to the babysitter? That chick was gangster though. She took some clubs to the Escalade, bro. I got nothing but respect for her.
Yeah, I don't remember her name either.
No one does. Exactly.
At the time, I would know it, but no, it is not. And he's still on everybody's minds. So I guess he won this round.
Yeah. I mean,
if he broke both his legs today, he won whatever happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell. This is too many crashes by yourself with no other car for one person to be doing.
That's true. The authorities said that there was no apparent intoxication, or it didn't seem like he was on any substances. Which I mean, okay, sure, I believe you. Whatever you say. He's got good PR people, but look, man, I think you're right. Like at a certain point, it's like, look, you need a driver, dude, and like not the one in your golf bag. You need like a fucking.
If I can get a driver, you can get a driver.
That's the great thing about the state of the world. Like all this technology, we technically can get a driver. Now they may not be on hand, but like I throw some numbers into an app, I got a driver.
Yeah.
There's zero excuse anymore for anyone rich to get in trouble for anything involving a car. That includes Bruce Springsteen. That includes Andy Reid's son. That includes Tiger Woods. There's no excuse in 2021 for anybody with reasonable money to get in trouble for being hammered in a car.
Yeah. Tiger's probably still got painkiller issues, I would imagine.
He has to, dude. He's had like 30 surgeries.
Yeah. And here's the thing, it's not that hard to drive a car on painkillers. It's my I mean,
who are you talking to?
I mean I mean he come on, Tiger. And I don't know. His tolerance should be quite strong.
Oh, dude, he should have like
he should have this down.
This may be a little too soon. He should have Limbaugh level tolerance, dog. You're not supposed to say stuff like that anymore, right? Like we all know.
I think we should treat Rush Limbaugh with the respect he would treat, a
rapper and a black guy.
Yeah, any rapper who got shot.
Oh man. I mean, even Rush from the grave. You see Rudy threw him under the bus with that Michelle Wee story talking about golf.
Yeah, that was
it wasn't even factual sexual harassment. It was like Nike makes the with the women's golf skirts, they have shorts for just the occasion for when you're golfing with two old white guys that
and his version of the story his version of the story is that the press is being not them. They're
right.
Not it's the
right.
It's the cameras and I love that he referred to it as a joke.
Right.
In that video, he goes, "I shouldn't tell that joke." I'm like, "Was there a joke in there?"
No, there was not.
Joke is that you're looking up Michelle's wee skirt as the joke.
Yeah, I guess at a charity golf tournament.
Yeah.
Look at with Roger ass. It's like, really, dude?
Roger Ailes.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, look, that's a playbook on the right, man. Like the left, we get rid of our harassers. We don't even let you stick around long enough. Fucking what's his name with the button in the office? I forget his name. Because they fired him. Yeah, Lauer. Yeah. Man.
I've heard that button thing is overblown. That a lot of people have that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a button.
When
it doesn't matter what it does.
That's true. Everybody else has doors too, but I guess if you're a big enough creep, a door has a much different button. Only
time you should have a button is in a pawn shop, bro, or a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, what are we gonna do, Seth? We can't save the world ourselves. I mean, just two men trying to do our best.
I have two babies. I can't help anybody.
No, it's like you gotta tread water yourself.
Two babies at the same time. It's a crazy thing to do.
That's wild, dude. That's the inside straight.
You should have them one at a time if you can. That's my advice to people. But I don't know. So yeah, I cannot save the world at all. I'm very busy.
Yeah.
And I got a 5-year-old on top of it. It's
You're doing the Lord's work. At least that's what they say, I think.
Remote learning stuff. Here's the thing. When she's back in the school, I'm gonna miss hearing what is going on, because I hear class every day, like the whole thing. And it's hell to be a teacher, because like I can hear most of the kids in her class parents. Like most of them are right off screen. Now I don't know if it's most of them, but a lot of them. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not even usually in the same room, but I hear like class every day, and I'm gonna miss hearing that. But
yeah,
if you're a teacher, like having every kid's parents listening in on your every move every day is it's annoying.
That's a good point. Like my mom's a teacher, so like I never even considered that, but that makes sense. Do you find that? Because I think I would find that I would be learning shit no matter what level they're at.
Well, my daughter's in kindergarten, so it's I would be a very good kindergartner.
Nice.
Like, I can count way past 100.
Oh, you're kicking their ass.
Yeah. I count to 100, which I actually think is pretty impressive for kindergarten.
It has to be. Like the idea that you were just like formed and someone's like, all right, look, here's a millenniums long concept. It's called mathematics. Once you sit down, and I want you to understand that one object permeance. Let's teach you that first.
It's funny having two babies at the same time, watching the they see everything for the first time. And here's the thing: during a pandemic, they're like they think most of the world is this house. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
It's like
That's a good point.
So it's interesting to see them learn shit. I don't know, but I can't take them out to, like, I used to take my 5-year-old, when she was a baby, I'd take her to the supermarket all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can just show them stuff in the supermarket, you know what I mean? And I haven't been able to do anything like that with them. So
well, hopefully soon, man. Hopefully.
It's gonna be there's gonna be a funky thing about this generation of children. We don't know what it is yet, but it's gonna be, the COVID kids are gonna be a thing.
That's a great point. I think
witnessing it firsthand in all kinds of ways.
Yeah, I think that just has to be the case, right? Like every generation has like their unique thing, you know. Like we were, I guess, technically like the latchkey kids and stuff like that. So yeah, there's gonna be COVID kids, and we'll see, man. That's why, like, everyone that's in a rush to kind of get back to square one, I'm like, I don't know, man. Let's ride this thing out. Let's see what the long-term effects of this shit is.
Yeah. Oh, we're not going back.
Nah, not
things. There's certain things that I don't think anyone's shaking hands anytime soon.
You gotta do the elbow thing, man. Yeah. Losing for a second.
Yep,
lost you for a second. That's all good.
Yep.
Could be my internet, to be honest.
Yeah, mine was cutting out the because I know how to look at that. I know how to see where the internet's going wrong to some degree, like with my IT experience.
Right.
And, so I can tell when she's not my fault. So like, Optimum's making me very mad.
Optimum makes everyone mad.
And I see, I'm in this like boomer, like Edison Facebook group just to keep tabs on what the neighbors are up to. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like they're constantly bitching, like why can't we get rid of Optimum? Blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, and they just don't know that, like, yo, this is like most of the country,
right?
Like has one internet choice. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, at least they got like a fiber optic option, bro.
Some places, but like I think it's like 80% of the country has like one internet option or something like that.
Less than still using AOL, bro. You know that.
There's a lot, because when I did tech support for Kaplan test prep, so you'd get calls from all over the country, and yeah, a lot of AOL. There's still a lot of AOL out there, especially when you get out to like the middle of the country.
Yeah, dude, I got bougie. Like I got the Verizon shit, and my phone was like 5G capable, and like I remember the day they're like, "Yo, you're getting 5G," and it wasn't that different. But I was like, "Yeah, this shit's fast, bro. Look how quick I downloaded that porno." You know what I mean? Like that. It was that level of proficiency. I have no idea why I said that.
The 5G concerns really went away, I noticed, from the beginning of the pandemic. I don't hear 5G like I used to.
No, like I said, people seem to move on. Yeah. People move on. Right now, the latest thing I've seen is the Mars rover. Like I've been seeing people say this Mars shit is fake. I'm like, come on, man. I don't get conspiracy stuff. Like, I mean, I do. Like, there's conspiracy that I like and I enjoy it, but like, does 8% of the U.S. population give a fuck about the Mars rover, right? So like they made up a Mars rover to convince like 8% of people that we went to Mars, so that 5% of people can be like, no, the fuck we didn't. You know, like I don't get what the goal would be there. Like how me believing that we landed on Mars is like mind control or something like that. It's like I just need. It's like I've been watching WandaVision lately, and I'm like, I get it, but like, yo, tell me what the fuck's going on. Like, get to the end.
I like being confused by TV. I don't know why. I enjoy when I don't know. As long as they eventually give me something at the end.
Yeah. Can I introduce you to anime?
I can't.
you you want to be confused like 3 years straight? I got you.
Like, did you ever watch Legion?
I
Uh,
know of Legion, but I didn't watch Legion.
Legion was a lot of what the fuck is going on. There was
Hmm.
you're confused half of Legion. Like theoretically, the entire show could have just been didn't happen. It's the whole thing could be in the guy's head theoretically. Like it's like, but like the line of reality and not is very blurry. The entire show really.
Okay.
Like you never really know what the fuck's going on in Legion if you really
Hmm.
or if you really want to break it down. But I very much enjoyed Legion, but I know a lot of people didn't.
Is that like an offshoot of is that a property? Is that like a DC or Marvel thing, or is that just kind of
X-Men. It's
that's
like
what
a
I thought.
thing, but it's not. It's like separate from the
Yeah. It
existing stuff. It's a standalone thing. But
is
yeah,
that is
it
that
makes
one of those homeboys that like I can make copies of myself and the other copy learns some shit, so now everybody knows shit?
no. He's like multiple personalities in his
Hmm.
head, with like, but he's like, well, he's it kind of. It's known out there if you know the comics, but he's it kind of spoils it for the show, I guess, but not really. He's like he's Professor X's son in the X-Men.
Oh, that kid. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like, but that's the show doesn't totally center around that. You don't find that out till like late in season one.
Okay. No,
If you
that's
don't know
cool.
that, if you don't know that already. But it's
He's an
like
omega level mutant, is what you're saying.
he is.
Yeah. I I like I think as I get older, like all this shit that used to make me interested in comic books is like gone like super fast and super strong. Is like, whatever, nigga. Like you're fast and you're strong. But like I watched Logan based off the Old Man Logan comic series, and like I never thought like what would happen if Professor X had like Alzheimer's or like some other mental thing. It's like, yo, that's a problem for the world.
Yeah.
Like they never explore what happens when people with way too many powers like start to fade. And it was just like, this is I enjoy this.
No, I really liked that movie, but it's not a fun rewatch. You got to be in.
Oh,
You got to be in the mood for Logan.
Logan's just like, it's like watching your favorite running back just like in his last season on a different team. You're like, oh man,
Like yeah, it's like watching Emmett Smith on the Cardinals.
yeah, it's a lot like that, dude. It's a lot like that. You know who's crazy? Like Larry Fitzgerald. How's that guy still doing it?
I don't know. Tom Brady. Like so it's
Tom
like
Brady's a great
Tom Brady,
counterpoint.
old 2 years older than I am, or something like that. I'm 40. I think he's 42.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I can't imagine playing in the NFL when I was, even if I was, I don't know, my body hurts and I didn't play 20 years in the NFL.
Yeah. I got on the Nordic track and I did yoga today, and I'm shot. It's over.
My back's still just mildly sore from the first snowstorm. Like, it's like, and every time there's there's a little more.
Compounds.
Yeah, it's
You got
finally
the
there.
you got the driveway, right? Like you're out there.
Yeah, my driveway's not that big either, but that first big storm was it's like 2 feet of snow. Like
Yeah.
any driveway at all. So it took me like 2 hours to clear out. I'm an idiot. I should have. But my mom, my mom in like January was like, "Hey, can I give you money for a snowblower?" And I was like, "I don't have that big a driveway." And then I'm kicking myself.
Yeah, yeah. You should kick yourself a little bit. It happens.
Yeah,
I've done that before too. I've been like, I don't want to owe my parents anything. I'm getting too old for that. You know, it's like now you got to drive over there with your kids more. It's like, oh, I guess you didn't care about the snowblower, right?
all right.
I got. This is like a legit question because I dug out my cars, right? So during the snowstorm, and it's like snowstorm 3 at this point, dug out my car, and people in the neighborhood have been putting like chairs down. They've been putting like trash cans down so you can't park in their spots. I dug my shit out and drove somewhere, and came back a couple times. Then it got to the point where it's like, look, it's been a week and a half. I can't keep claiming the same spot. I'm not going to put a bucket down anymore. My neighbor put shit in my spot, and, and I'm asking myself, well, one, I already took offense, so let's not pretend. But like, two, like that just feels like a violation. Like if you didn't dig it, I don't think you can claim it.
I guess. I've never lived in that atmosphere, in that scenario, unfortunately.
It's a dog
I
eat
don't have,
dog world over here in New
I don't have any life
Brunswick.
experience. I lived in the hood in New Brunswick. But the thing is, there was always ample parking in the hood.
Yeah,
So
that,
it was
that's
never
what
an
I thought.
but you live in like a tighter. I was
It's a
over.
one-way street, so that's the problem.
Yeah, I was over.
By
I
the Birchwoods.
was on Sanford Street, which is
Hmm.
like if you go what used to be commercial. I'm trying to remember. It's been so long. If you were on
It's
Route
called
18, and,
Robinson now.
yeah, Paul Robeson Ave or
Yeah.
whatever, you take that straight up to that where it forks and then go right. I was like a block that.
Yo, you're
I was
over
a block.
there.
I was a block away from Remsen Ave.
So that's like the fork. Like if you made the left, you'd be heading towards like the Jiffy Lube and the fucking well,
There's like
maybe not.
there's a Popeyes over there if you
Yeah,
go
the
for
Popeyes. Yep, yep.
yeah. No, yeah,
That's always a good hood reference.
you go right at that fork for about a block or two.
Yeah, you were up there.
Oh yeah, I was in the hood, man.
I'm not that brave.
I didn't know. Well, I was above. There's like these auto body shops there, and I was like in this crazy like loft thing above an auto body shop.
Wow.
And in fact, if people, old New Brunswick heads they would know it as the loft. There's two sides. The other side was known as the loft in New Brunswick. It was like
Okay.
because like bands and stuff would play there and
Hmm.
have parties. I lived on the other side, which was like just like never really finished. There was always scaffolding out. It was
Yeah,
like it was hard to explain, but you had to be a certain kind of person to live in this place.
I get that.
But that was in the hood. I saw, yeah, I heard, I watched gunshots a few times in that neighborhood,
Happens.
but no one got shot. The guy was just firing in the air for some reason. When there was
probably New Year's.
well, there was a bar right there, one of those outside my window from the kitchen, you could see this bar. And any day where it was like mildly warm outside, as soon as that bar closed, it was just some kind of commotion.
Interesting.
Yeah, with occasional gunshots.
I was because I'm in, I follow local news and stuff. There was like on Easton, there was an incident where like some guy in like a Honda Ridgeline like tried to like basically abduct like some college chick, right? And the description was like white guy in a Honda Ridgeline tried to abduct somebody. And I'm reading the comments of like this news story, and they're like, fucking little Mexico over there. I'm like, the white guy in the Honda Ridgeline? Racism knows no bounds, man. Like, it was an Asian guy, fucking, walking down the street. It's like, oh, those goddamn Haitians. It's like, what? Like, we gotta get our story straight next time we want to be racist, man. New Brunswick is such a cool city. Like, you're talking about the loft. It just reminds me, like, when I was going to school here, and some of the other times that I've been around, like all the like show houses, because it's such like a punk rock scene, or at least it was for a while. And like, I've seen the Dillinger Escape playing in some fucking basement. I've seen Macaulay Culkin's band, the Pizza Underground, in this fucking basement.
I know of those shows. I read about them when they happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was always plugged in enough to hear about stuff.
Yeah.
But,
the Macaulay Culkin thing was cool because like we had to be kind of quiet about that until it happened. And
right.
Like every show house has like a crazy name. It's like, oh, this one's Meat Town, this one's like America House, and you had to be in the know because the cops were on Facebook. Sure, that's where they are. they're trying to break down your loud band music that you can hear from down the block. That's what they're on Facebook.
That was the cool thing about the loft is bands didn't have to worry about any noise or anything because it was in the middle of the hood.
Yeah.
Like a semi-industrial-ish neighborhood. But also I drive every now and then I'll drive through there just to remind myself. Or to see how it's changed. It's actually way more developed now than when I lived there.
Sure, it is.
But the whole neighborhood's different. Not the whole neighborhood, but a lot of that, like Commercial Avenue or now Paul Robeson Avenue, totally different experience than when I used to go to college. Were you in New Brunswick early enough to know when that little liquor store was at the on the hill on Commercial Avenue? That
Which
might have
one?
been before your time. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It's called like Bottom of the Hill Liquors or something.
Oh, I've been in New
And
Brunswick since like 2006, kind of on and off. So,
yeah, this might
but
have closed before that.
being like a
But it
bitch
was
ass
like
college kid, I might not have been down that area because like the hub was a little racy for us at the time.
this place
But
was the only liquor store open past like liquor store time.
mm,
I mean, they had like some kind of loophole or something.
that that was kind of like the hub for us. Like, although you couldn't really get liquor that late, you could get like 40s and stuff like that, and beer, wine, which is like that's enough to keep a party going, kind of. Um,
There's a pool hall near me in Edison that I used to do 40s at. At all hours of the night back in the day.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Were you around for like the Buddha bar or the Buddha lounge, whatever that shit was called?
No. I mean, maybe
Okay.
it sounds familiar, but I never went any. I was at rap shows and or home. I was like, or
Yeah.
like in college or stuff your face. I was at stuff your face a lot.
Nice, nice. Oh yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
know it well. I know it well. Actually, I
Yeah.
was on a Zoom thing the other day. Like Silent Night was on it, and he was talking about like
Oh
the
boy.
rap game and stuff in Middlesex, and I was like, all right, cool, man.
Known Silent Night since he was. I don't know. I can't think of a witty poem, but he since he was young. I'll put it
Yeah,
that way. Like probably like 19 or something.
true. Because I felt like Fuse was a thing when I was in college.
Was that?
Um, a band called Fuse. I think that was a thing when I was in college.
I've
And
known him way before the band when he was way before he's been with them. He was in
yeah,
this group called Unstoppable Unity when I met him.
hmm.
And they used to perform in New Brunswick a lot. And this is like 2002,
Wow,
probably.
yeah, before my time.
Yeah, it was I did a lot. I've done 5,000 rap shows with Silent Night,
Yeah, yeah.
So he was at
I'm
Silent Night was at my wedding, to put it in context.
sure. Ah, that makes sense. I'm
Yeah,
like
man.
Silent Night adjacent. I'm sure he kind of knows who I am, but like I'm more of a stand than than he is of me for sure. 'Cause I'm nobody, I'm just some guy.
Yeah, here's a random story that intersects with politics. Remember when Silent Night, the way I found out that remember Governor when Governor McGreevey came out as a homosexual man?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Remember that? He the way I found out about that, I was in the car with Silent Night, we were in Cincinnati, going to Scribble Jam, and
Scribble.
I didn't know him that well yet. This is probably when we really got to know each other actually, like on this trip, because I volunteered to drive because the dude Pumpkinhead, I don't know if you ever heard of him. He passed away some time ago.
Yeah, heard of
But
that guy. Yep.
he's from Brooklyn. He was from a rap group called Brooklyn Academy, which a lot of people have heard of from back in the day. But the way he was using my cell phone to call his brother, because these bum rappers never have cell phones back then.
Sure.
And his brother broke the news to us, like, yeah, the governor's on TV and he's quitting because he's gay. And we're like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't really get the full story until much later, because this was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a thing you just have to quit for, Like
I think it's because he gave some kid a job or something. Like, wasn't it like something like that? Like you sleeping with some kid he gave a job to or something
yeah,
crazy.
that happens. It's still going on. Like the Lincoln Project is like a kind of like anti-Trump Republican group
I know.
yeah.
Dude, I've been anti-Lincoln Project since like I just smelled those dudes out from a mile away. I was like, yeah, I
Because you're
don't trust
smart.
at all.
It doesn't make any sense, right? It's like, who is that for, right? It's for like brunch liberals that are like, yeah, Trump does suck. And look, even the Republicans agree. You mean three of them?
That's what I used to argue with people, because they're like, well, at least they're helping. They're getting. I'm like, yo, it's not a voting block. These Republicans who don't like Trump, it's not a voting block. It's like it's them and like 7 other people, and they all live in New York City and Washington D.C.
Right. They raised millions of dollars to get their asses whooped in every like race they got behind. And on top of that, like, look, I love the commercials. I thought it was funny, but it was like I thought it was funny.
Right.
that doesn't translate to some guy in like Oklahoma that is like union and pro Trump. It's like this is for this. Like I said, this is for brunch liberals. The same way Disney Plus is. Like when Gina Carano got fired, it was like, of course she got fired. What?
Yeah.
Can't fuck up the bag, yo.
Hey, Gina Carano, this is the deal. If you're gonna work for Disney, maybe not only work for Disney, but be like a public figure on arguably the most successful thing in the last years, since they can't put movies out. Like, you're not allowed to say stuff.
No.
Sometimes.
And here's the other thing.
If you want it, you can say these things, but you get to go make movies for Ben Shapiro.
Right. You know who could say shit? Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal could like pump the director, and they might have to be like, I don't know, the director or Pedro. You're Gina Carano, dude. You're nobody. No one tuned into the Mandalorian. Was like, can't wait for Gina to throw a sidekick this episode.
My brother, it was like a running thing between us because he would not watch the Mandalorian, and then he finally did, and he just finished it like the other day.
Nice.
And he goes, but you were saying, you were telling me it didn't matter that girl got fired. He goes, but her character didn't die or anything. I'm like, yeah, but they can do it without her.
They could do. It's Star Wars. The whole series is we can do it without you. The only other example of like a series that has been perfect with that is the Avengers when Don Cheadle was like, I'm Terrence Howard. I was like, really? You're not even the same skin tone. That was great. And I like Terrence Howard, but again, from what I understand, and I don't know a lot, but like it sounded like Terrence wanted more money, and Disney was like, "Oh, do you?"
Yeah,
that's what happens, man.
They're notoriously cheap, I believe. But if you stick it out, I guess you gotta know to sniff these. But he should have stuck that out, obviously.
But like Terrence is all right? Like that's a good check. Well, actually, he should have stuck that out because like.
Yeah, but
that is the most consistent check in the history of Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't think it's the Avengers Endgame check.
Dude, if Terrence was still there, you totally could have done a War Machine one-off fucking series. You could have had everybody from Empire show up. Even Jussie Smollett could have come back. It would have been great. Sometimes, and like I wonder if it's me. It's like, am I too complacent? Am I not militant enough? Sometimes like I hear like a Terrence Howard or a Monique, and I'm just like, all right. Like, I get it. Let's go for it, kid.
You know what bugs me when Terrence Howard, what that thing when he was on the runway just talking like, I don't know. I don't want to sound insulting, but he was just talking a lot of gibberish. You know what I mean?
Do you remember? I'll do it for you. Yeah, it was a bunch of bullshit. Sure.
But here's the thing: Jim Carrey did exactly that. Like 6 months earlier or a year, I don't remember how the time frame exactly. And people were like, "Yes, you're right." Like it was just as gibberish when Jim Carrey said it. Like,
that's true.
Like I don't understand. I call racism on this because I feel like Jim Carrey got a huge pass on his gibberish.
And like that's kind of the point, right? Like I agree with these people, right? Like it's like Monique's like, I should make more money than Amy Schumer. It's like, probably, but Amy Schumer, more white people like her. Terrence Howard is like, you gotta pay me. It's like, yeah, but come on, man. Like racism didn't stop. You gotta know your lane, man. You gotta get like black people. You know how we do. We get a side hustle, man. You can't just make that Avengers money. Got to start a podcast like me.
Yeah.
No, you're right. But like, no, Jim Carrey, that was a bunch of bullshit, actually. But see, the problem for me is that I am hypercritical of black people, and that is a form of racism, right? Like, I am more concerned about dumb shit when black people say it. I'm less concerned when white people say dumb shit. Like when white people say dumb shit, I'm like, all right, this is making some ground. These thoughts and opinions are purely for jokes and not how. Anyway, I watched this video earlier. Justin Williams, the comedic genius from Newark, had posted something where Eddie Griffin was like 1 + 1 = 3. and it was like Eddie Griffin doing that same, Hotep gibberish. It's like the plus is also a thing. So 1 + 1, that's 3. And I'm just like, all right, this is happening. And he was like, the Buddha wasn't Chinese, he was black. I was like, well, he was Indian, but okay. you know? I just feel like if you have a YouTube, case in point, if you got a ring light and, and an internet connection, you can make anything happen for yourself.
Yeah, my ring. I have the Ring doorbell on my front door, and I have yet to stop a crime.
Not
But
one, right?
but I do know which of my mailmen like really enjoy the job versus not.
Yo, that's a good point. I don't have
So
ring. I got the Nest, and yeah, there's a guy who like he'll start rapping and like he'll come up to the door just like singing like this guy's having a great time.
I have the Nest thermostat. And I highly recommend it. It's the best.
Same.
Love it.
Yeah. That's what that stock money will do for you kids. Get you a Nest thermostat. Honestly, like I same thing. I have not stopped a crime, but I've been mad while watching a crime happen on my porch. Like this guy was just like robbing the shit out of me. Like happens like almost every Christmas, basically.
Yeah, your neighborhood. I'd be weird. I'd be nervous about getting packages delivered.
Let's just say there's people with impeccable balance in my neighborhood, and the people that get it will know what I mean by that.
When I lived in the hood in New Brunswick, that place, like I just did not get mail at all. Like
Yeah.
mail just did not come to that address. I'm not. It was the most bizarre thing. Like I was like, I'm a type 2 diabetic, and at the time when I was living there, I did not have medical insurance. I just found out I was a type 2 diabetic when I was moving into that
Oh
place.
shit. Yeah.
Like literally the week I was supposed to move in, I spent in the hospital. I had pneumonia. That's when I found out.
Hmm.
But so I had no insurance, right? That's why I'm not. You don't have insurance if you're living where I was living. But this was before Obamacare and all that good stuff. So I'm 22 and no insurance, and I need diabetes medicine. And there's a free clinic. In fact, it's right by the George Street Co-op on
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
The
I know
Eric.
which one you're talking about. Yep.
That's where I used to go for my medical treatment at the time. But they would tell me like, yeah, we're gonna mail you your medicine. I go, you can't mail that to me. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, mail doesn't come to this. I'm like, this is my address, but mail's not going to come there.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know, but mail doesn't show up. And they're like, well, we have to send you a letter to let you know your medication's here to come get them. Like, you need to call me because there's no way. And then, so like, I'd have my appointment, I'd come and they'd be like, we have all this medication for you. We've been trying to send you this letter. You didn't respond. I'm like, I keep telling you guys, there's no mail. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, and they spoke Spanish to me there constantly because like my last name, Serrano.
Right.
I was, but I thought I looked very white because it was me and like all Mexican people.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Which is what put them in Spanish speaking mode, I think. But I thought I'd stand out as a white guy, but I guess,
Nah, look, it takes all types, man. Like there's a lot of Spanish speakers in your hue, my friend. But no, I mean like that's the shit that we don't talk about as a country. That like not everyone is getting their mail. This is not an equal system. And I get it. Like if I'm a mailman, I'm like, ain't nobody really gonna complain. And even if they did, they're from a neighborhood where no one's gonna care. So I'm not.
There are
taking a shot.
businesses operate. The thing is, the address for where I lived was a door. It's like a enclave of auto body places, kind of. Or
Sure.
not auto body, art places. And then like my place was above one of them. The door was like right on the other side of the wall. So it would be hard to find, but I don't know. We had an address.
Yeah. I've run for like political office before, so I've done like canvassing. And there's like sometimes you just get somewhere and it's like this does not exist. Like it'd be like 13 Smith Street. You're like, okay, there's 11, there's 15, and that's it. Like where the fuck is where is this place, man? So I get that to a certain extent.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah.
But I
I
could
don't
have
know, man. There's something about
I was on unemployment when I lived there. I had to have it sent to my friend's parents' house in Piscataway.
Mm, mm.
It's a nightmare.
No, I guess. Shit, man. Unemployment, one of those things that like never improves, right? Like, no matter how much progress we make, like unemployment will always be a fucking shit show.
I was making not much. I was making like $330 every 2 weeks from unemployment. Like I was very broke at
That's
this time,
brutal.
but I didn't have many expenses. I was trying to be a rapper,
Yeah,
no, and and so that was paying the way. you
nice.
know, barely. I don't know how, but like looking at how much money I make now, it's like I don't understand how I survived, to be honest with you.
That, that
But
happened to me too. Like I used to work on bar shifts in DC, and like DC is a pretty expensive place. And like I remember one year, like my W-2 said like 40K, and I was like, yo, I made it. Like I was like, I've done it. And now I'm just like, ugh, ugh. like like I had to get my tires fixed the other day. And in DC, like at the time, I was like, fuck, my tires, that's gonna be at least 80 to whatever, $200. And it's like you're looking at it like, yo, how am I gonna afford this shit? And like the other day, I was just like, take it. It's like I'm not dealing with this shit. And I don't know. I think we made this happen for ourselves, right? Like guys, I guess we kept at it, and it's better.
I never got my degree in anything. I I pursued music and stuff that never really went anywhere. But I've always been a couple of things. I've always been just naturally pretty good with technology.
Mhm.
And well, I was around it enough as a young kid, I guess. But so there's some privilege there. But I was lucky enough to know how to use technology. Um and I'm very good at office politics. Like people genuinely don't mind being around me in the office. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's a good thing.
Oh, I
Like,
lost you. Oh, there you are.
yeah, no, I caught what you said. They generally, that's my thing, right? Like, I do have my degree, and like, I ended up in finance. It's not really where I thought I was going to land, but like, my interest in like politics and like news and stuff like that actually has been very helpful in this career because it's just like I'll sit there and watch all the information all day and take it in and just be like, which you got a question about this stock? Like I'll regurgitate some bullshit. So like, um, in general, I've found, and we'll see how long my luck runs out, but like people tend to like me. I have good conversations with people. I don't think I'm like a dick. So like, look, it's a skill set. Like there's no reason why people should like me. Sometimes I even test it, right? Like I'll be in a situation and I'll just say something just outlandish, like, yeah, women shouldn't work 30 hours a week. And someone's like, what the fuck did you just say? And I'm like, you know what I mean? And then they're like, yeah, I guess I do. Like, I don't, it's like a superpower. But look, it can only run
Yeah,
for so long.
I'm just pretty quiet at work, I guess. But I get the work done and I don't complain. That's like really all. And people used to come, well now it's a whole different thing now because of the virus. But people I used to be the guy everybody would complain to me about the other people. Like someone
That's a
would
good
complain
spot.
to the guy and then the other guy would come to me and complain about the guy who just complained to me. Like I'd get that all day long. And just kind of nod like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Not
No,
even
it's,
not. I wouldn't even agree. I wouldn't even agree. I'd just sit there and be like, I wouldn't even say much. If people see you as a sounding board, they don't want to fire you.
yeah, no, I think that's a good point because like I'm generally like I'm more kind of out there in like my comedy pursuits and stuff like that, but in the office, like I don't have a lot to say. I don't really care about what you people are talking about here. But no, you're bringing up a good point because part of the reason I started doing this podcast was I just feel like people want to bitch about shit, but like they don't want to actually solve their problems, right? Like they just want to kind of this sucks and that sucks. It's like, well, we could do something about it. Like, no, let's not do that. I just want to complain. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. A lot of people want to just, and I think part of becoming older is you realize you start to come, you come to terms with the fact there's certain things you're never gonna do.
Yeah.
It's hard to be like, yeah, I could pursue that thing, but I'm not gonna like, especially once you start having kids. It's like you're just like, at least to me, like I had a friend who was recently complaining, like I don't, he's having like a midlife crisis or something,
Right.
where it's like, am I doing enough? Did I do this? Blah blah. I'm like, look, if there's something you want to do, either do it, and if you can't do it, figure out why you can't. But if you have kids, just are your kids not gonna be pieces of shit? Then you're doing fine.
That's that's a
So,
good point. I mean, like, not
uh,
everyone succeeds in that that pursuit, man. Like, no, you're right. Like, I think that you've got to go for shit, and if you can't, like, in some way, you got to come to peace with that somehow. You got to find whatever it is that you can do that's in your power that is acceptable for you. And yeah, I think that's a good plan. Like, not making your kids a piece of shit. Like, if your kids believe that the Mars rover is real, I think you're doing a great job, Seth.
yeah, yeah. My 5-year old's smart, which, and like once she started remote kindergarten, I uh I found out exactly how smart she is, and I got annoyed because I'm like, she's been playing dumb all this time
Yeah,
about a plethora of things, and tries to take advantage sometimes. But she likes to look at pictures of like Saturn and stuff sometimes.
that's cool.
I think we'll be okay with believing space is real. I hope.
I think you'll get there. I mean, we can't all be was it Kyrie Irving or whatever. I don't know. Like, I was looking at photos of the from the Mars rover, right? Like, I happen because just I'm plugged into my algorithm because I'm working from home all day. So like, I got some notification like, hey, look, some astronauts talking about the new rover. It was like, okay, and they had the first sound from Mars, first
Right.
pictures and video. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And like today, there was a video where it wasn't a video, it was like one of those 3D photos. It's like the rover looking at like the unobstructed night sky in Mars. And I just sat there, it was like, because I've traveled a little bit, so I've been like Hawaii. There's a observatory. I forget what it's called. But, like there's an observatory there, and I've been to Ireland. Like I just sat out on the roof one time and just looked at the sky, and like there's not as much light pollution.
Right.
And it's fucking humbling, dude. Like we're not used to seeing it, right? Like we're on this spinning rock, and it's just like when you look at it, it makes you fucking think about shit. It makes you think about your place in this world. So like looking at that image, I was like, man, that is badass. And like for like rim job 8.5 to be like, this is fake. I'm just like, bro, you open your fucking mind, man. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah. I try not to. I don't know. Like a friend of mine, like he loves like looking at like Parlor and seeing like what the
Right.
haps in Keyland is. You know what I mean? He wants to be like. I'm like, I can't read too much of this stuff, man. It makes me sad.
I
But then
mean,
like
yeah.
my favorite thing in like crazy comment section land in the last like 24 hours was now that weed is legal in the state of New Jersey, that a lot of people comment something like this. They say like, well, I've never tried it and I never will. It just never appealed to me. And I'm like, why are you chiming in?
Right. Right.
Like,
Right. You, like you said, you're not part of the conversation.
like, what are you doing?
No, it's like, guess what?
Out of that on the comment section.
I saw one the other day, like there, because I know Facebook's fucking with me, right? There's 6 people in total that like I can tell there's 3 of them that are just like kind of like the hoteps that I just like keep tabs on, and there's 3 of them that are just like conservatives and stuff like that, and like I just see them like posting under Ben Shapiro posts, and I'm just like, ugh. But like this one woman had posted like, oh, they just legalized weed. Good luck breathing clean air. I'm like, what? You think we're gonna be smoking so much weed that oxygen is gone? Are
Well,
you
it's just
crazy?
New Jersey. There's better air out there.
That's
Let's
what
be honest.
someone said. They were like, "Yo, like I'm more worried about that smokestack off the fucking
Right,
turnpike."
right, right. The series of smokestacks I have to pass to get to to get to any sporting event.
It's like what people like that don't get is that yeah, people like to smoke and shit. But like as things get legalized, there's gonna be a lot of edible consumption, man. Like my old ass, like I'm gonna be looking for gummies and like fucking
I
mints
would,
and stuff like that.
I would very much like to be able to pick up the like vaping oils like legally in a store.
Nice,
Like I'd
nice.
very much like to be able to just do that, you know?
I I've been like
It's boring right now, the way it is now.
oh totally. I've been to like Seattle and like Oregon. Like I haven't been to Colorado, but I've been to places like that. And recreational is legal in those spots, and like it's such a non-event. That was the most enjoyable thing about it. It's like you went in, it was like, here's $40. Here's drugs. And I was like, thank you. All right. See ya. I love that.
I went to LA like a couple of years ago, me and the wife and the 5-year-old, who was not a 5-year-old at the time. But we just kind of on a whim went to LA almost exactly 2 years ago on a Valentine's Day week. We left on Valentine's Day
Nice.
and went to LA and stayed in Redondo no, some beach. I forget the name of the place we stayed now.
Hmm.
But we I was thinking like, yo, is there gonna be like legal? This was after recreational passed in California. I was like, is this gonna be like weed shops like everywhere? But we even went to Venice Beach one day, and it's not like in your face at all.
No.
I thought it was just gonna be like every corner, and no, you kind of have to go find it. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not just like I didn't know what to expect. I didn't even partake while I was out there. I might have been like we're just sightseeing and stuff,
Sure.
but
Sure.
I thought it was gonna be all in your face, and it's really not. And I think people need to not worry.
Yeah, I think people should worry less. Like, I was in Spain and somebody hit me up, like unprompted, like it was for my honeymoon actually, and I'm just kind of like sitting in Spain. And it's like, yo, like I know some people out there. If you go to like this address and you ring this doorbell and you talk to this person, they'll give you weed. And I'm like, bro, I'm here for like 5 days. I'm not like I'm not getting in the internet like the international drug market. Like I'm good. Thank you for the recommendation. Um, I'm gonna go to the beach and I'm gonna drink fucking kava. Like that, we're good, man. Like I don't know. It's just like I think that weed and other drugs just it's just like the nerds put them on like this hype, like crazy, like hype boy level, and it's just like it's not that serious, dude.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
kind
not.
of what I thought. That's kind of where I was at. I didn't even drink till I was like a freshman in college, and like after second semester freshman in college. Like I was just sober I was just dead against doing anything until then I broke up with my girlfriend from high school.
Mm,
Like during the second semester of my freshman year of college, and I just went crazy and said I'm gonna do all the drugs and drinking.
yeah.
I don't know why. And then I was like, I don't know why I never did. I don't know why I was such a shithead about this.
Yeah. Well, I grew up
That
super.
was part of it. That was part of it. Like the school. I came up under the. I'm a little older than you. I came up in the Nancy Reagan "Just Say No"
Yeah, right.
when I was a kid. We had to wear a T-shirt and like whatever color. One of it, I don't know if it was school colors. It's probably what it was. Like one half of the school had white shirts, and one half of the school had green shirts that said "Just Say No" on them, and you had to wear them every Friday. And it was like a competition, like who remembered to wear them the most. And I guess if you won, you stayed drug free longer. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah,
Um,
they scared the shit out of me in the early '80s.
no, they definitely did. Ac- Actually, that reminds me of a story. Like I was like student of the month one time, like third or fourth grade or something like that, and the reward was a limousine pizza party. So they picked me up from school in a limousine to go to like Pizza Hut to get a pizza to go back to school, and like I still to this day don't know what lesson that was. Like, what do you say? It's like success sitting in the back of a limo with like a fucking chain pizza and just be like, you know what? I fucking made it. Like it gave me like that. It's always sunny vibes when like Charlie and Matt get all the money and they're like, I just I like still to this day like don't understand. why that was a thing. I don't understand why, like, after you did a fundraiser, they would put you in one of those like vacuums and swirl the money around you. You had to try to get it in your shirt. Like, what were those lessons? What was all of that, man?
I grew up in the middle of nowhere, so like, but we did have the book it program,
Nice.
the free pizzas.
I
So
love the bookie program.
it was quite a drive to get to a Pizza Hut, but yeah, I was owning those free pizzas.
Hey, man, look, you read all those books, or your mom said you did.
I did. I was such a good kid, man. I would never cheat. I would never cheat. I was I, I was the goodest kid around. I didn't
Nice.
go to like way after public school.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty similar. Like, I was pretty fucking straight lace. My parents were, well, my mom especially was super religious. I grew up extra Christian, like Baptist, and like high school, maybe like around senior year, I went to like one or two parties. I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. Then when I got to college, I was like, I'm gonna enjoy this, right? Like,
Yeah.
I was still like a wrestler and stuff like that, so like I had something grounding me to not be completely a lunatic because like I had responsibilities. But that was the first time I was like, let me see how far I can push this. And yeah, it worked out. Here we are. Got a
It's,
mortgage.
yeah, that's fun. It's somehow that's the goal. But it's when I was a freshman in college, like I had like tried weed like the first time probably in like March of that second semester. And then like it was the last day of anything freshman year. It's
Mm-hmm.
like kids were going nuts, you know. Anyone who didn't have a final the next morning. But I remember this dude, this dude I knew. So I this was in May, you know, or maybe early like mid-May, right? Is that when college ends? I don't know. Late May. So a
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
couple
like
months
late May.
couple months into ever having marijuana, this guy goes to me, he's like, yeah, I want to get high tonight, you know, it's the last night here. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got this hash. And he looked at me like, how the fuck do you of all people have hash?
Right.
And I never understood till like way later. I'm like, yeah, that was crazy. Like
That's
that was the
so specific.
that I had hash like the first time, like second time I bought marijuana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was at a major university. What do you expect? You know?
No, no, totally, totally. I remember one time, this is more senior year of high school, like me and some buddies, like during finals week, I was trying to be cool or whatever. Like I had a car, they didn't. And we drove out to Virginia because like I went to all guys school because we were gonna meet some girls or something like that and out
Right.
there. And we we like we showed up at like some park or something like that. And my buddy was like rolling a joint and cops like kind of rolled up on us and we were like, oh shit, this isn't looking good. But it all worked out, nothing happened. And like whatever he had just rolled, we smoked it on the way back to Maryland. And look, I live in my parents' house, right? I had no idea that like I had just like ruined the smell of my car for like 3 months, man. Like it was all in the air conditioning system and stuff like that. And like I was talking to my dad one day, and I don't even remember the exact conversation, but he's like, really? You serious? And I was like, I know what you're talking about, but I don't want to discuss it.
The, my see, I never got caught, but like I just told by the time I just told my mom outright, like at some point when I was a grown up, I'm like, hey, Adrian might as well know. But you know what I mean? So I never got caught by her, but my brother, like, he got in trouble because he failed a bunch of finals or something. And I was going to summer school at Rutgers, living in the summer dorms uh that summer. And my mom calls like, yeah, your brother's car. This is my grandmother's old car. My brother was using it in high school. And
Right.
I was at Rutgers carless. And my mom goes, we're gonna give you the car because he like failed his classes. I'm like, oh, all right. And then she's calling, she's like, you need money? I'm like, yeah, of course I need money.
Yeah, of
And
course.
then so he was gonna drive the car to my dad's house and I was gonna get it there was the plan. She's like, I'm gonna put a check for you in the glove compartment. So she goes in and then I just hear my mom on the phone go, oh my God, I think this is for drugs. And it was like she found it was like a weed pipe, you know.
Okay.
But she had no idea what it was.
That's so
And
funny.
like, but her boyfriend at the time was more hip. And he goes, "Yeah, this is like a marijuana pipe." And then she's like telling me, she goes, your father doesn't know what it smells like. And I want to be like, I wasn't quite there yet with my mom, but I would want to be like, neither can you, because I've come home like
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah,
I don't think you shouldn't be this confident.
yeah. I was driving a Saturn. I don't even know what fucking what year, what make or model. But like I was driving a Saturn. I just there was so much weed in this like contained space with no circulation, and like I went home like, and again I had passed my finals and stuff like that because I decided to smoke afterwards. And like I was so fucked up because like I didn't smoke a lot at all when I was in like high school or like not even really in college, and I just like got under a blanket and just went to sleep. I was like, fuck this. Like reality does not work for me right now, man. Uh yeah, good times, good times. But like yeah, parents they're generally not that good at least mine were generally aren't that good at like finding out what drugs you're on. But my dad was a police officer for a good amount of his life, so he knew. It's like, it's like this is ridiculous. I can't even like cover this for you. I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, my parents were not that hip. I don't think they wouldn't. I don't know. My kids are screwed. I know it all.
Yeah,
Anything past me.
this is
Well,
before Febreze too. This
yeah.
shit didn't exist.
Yeah, you're not getting much past me in the drug department.
Nah, nah.
Not, these
Scruff McGruff in it, man.
children are screwed.
That's what's wrong with this generation. There's no Scruff McGruff anymore. The crime sniffing dog. Oh man.
I don't know what the thing is, like when we were kids, like McGruff, like it was like in between commercials on Saturday morning cartoons and stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's when you saw him. But here's the thing, that concept is gone. There's no like here's when children's programming is on. Like
good
I
point.
when shit's on is they watch everything. First of all, everything's on demand, and
Mhm.
it's the more shit than you could ever need. Like I don't know if you've ever heard of the Descendants franchise from Disney,
Yeah,
but what?
yeah. The descendants of the like
Yeah,
princesses and stuff like that. Yep, yep.
yeah. But it's like it's my daughter's obsessed with it now, and like it's like musicals, but it's I know half the songs like by heart. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's what it is. That's what, and she just tells Alexa to put these things on. You know what I mean? So it's like there's no stopping her. So
yeah.
like it's it's not like when we were kids. Like so yeah, you can't. Point is you can't just sneak McGruff in there somewhere.
No, no. There's no opportunity.
They got full control over all the content coming into their brains.
Yeah,
And
actually, one of my first jobs after college, I drove for a family friend's daycare. Like I was the drove the van and like you'd observe stuff and like yeah, it's all on YouTube now. There is not really that Saturday morning block of cartoons. And if
yeah,
there was, why would the fuck would the kids sit through all the commercials?
there's and even if they there's I have six like 24-hour children
Yeah,
programming commercials. Like I don't know if that's true, but there's a lot. There's children's programming on, or just put on Netflix. Like it's just yeah, it's the bit one of the like people always be like, oh, it's social media, blah blah. I'm like it's a broader problem than that. The problem is it's so cheap to be perpetually entertained now.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. You
If
put an
anything,
iPad in front of a kid and you're good.
yeah, you just need the internet. I've said like I used to do the bit about wanting to be quarantined for Ebola.
Hmm.
That's the quarantining takes a whole different thing. It's a whole different context now.
Yeah,
But
listen, bro.
one of the punchline was like, if you give me enough weed and an iPad, I could go without human contact for years. You know,
It's true. I've been thinking about this. Like
don't need much anymore.
I'm doing reasonably well in this environment. Like this isn't too far off of what I kind of wanted. Like, can I engage with people sometimes? Great. you know. But yeah, man, this is so weird. I did see it. Like I saw something today, because you were talking about being in like a boomer Facebook group. I'm weirdly in a few myself, actually.
Yeah,
Strange. But like people just make statements like that. It's the social media. It's like, motherfucker, you're 30. It's not that. Like it's like, oh, it's there's not enough parents in the household. Everyone's being raised on social media. It's like, nah, parents are like that's how households work. There are parents there.
yeah.
Not rogue kids running around like it's Mad Max, you know?
The being the father of three now, you see, like, the twins are only 6 months old, but you see, like, kids' personalities are a lot of it is just baked in. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wonder how much of all the shit we do to try to make them, well adjusted and educated. I wonder how much of it matters sometimes because I think some people are just shitheads and some people are like have what it takes. It just seems the more I spend time as a father, the more I think like I don't know how much you can change in
Yeah.
people once they come out of the womb. I don't know.
Yeah. I
As
mean, like,
obviously
I,
you can traumatize a child, but beyond not traumatizing them, I don't know how much you can really affect sometimes. I
that's
don't
a good
know.
point. Like, look, I come from a family. I have two siblings, and like, we're each of us like, in general, like, I'm 5 years older than one. They're 4 years older than the other one, and it's just like, you just been like that, huh? Like the whole time. Like, I had a great upbringing, great parents, good background and stuff like that. But it's just like, yeah, people are kind of who they are at a certain point. You know, it's a great
Yeah,
point.
yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I mean you just try not to traumatize them. That's my
Yeah,
advice.
that's your that's your that's your job at this point. That's your goal.
As long as you're trying not to, you're probably fine. That's because the people that really screw up aren't worried about it. That's what I always tell parents.
Right, right. I I think part of it is you're right, like the baked in personalities. Part of it is hopefully you get lucky. You're not raised by a fucking shithead or a dummy. You know what I mean? Which just goes back to traumatized, basically.
Yeah,
So,
it's there's cycles that just keep going in some.
but even like to your point though, there's some dumb motherfuckers that have smart kids.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. You see it happen.
yeah.
The I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know how much we can affect. That's what I think about that sometimes. Like the valedictorian in my high school, like went to Princeton and like I don't know, he did something important, I think.
Sure.
But like it's like he was going we were in the middle of nowhere, like not a bad place to get educated, but not like there wasn't a lot of like not even resources, but it's just too small to have certain stuff. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like we didn't have a wrestling team, for example. You know what I mean? This isn't enough to justify it. And like
Right.
there's certain opportunity that doesn't get, I don't know, in my opinion, that you don't get. But he was really smart.
Well, yeah, he
Like
was fine, right?
he moved on. I did fine. Like you have to leave, but but
Yeah.
I guess having resources to leave is a barrier for some. But
Huh.
it is what it is.
And
It is what it is. I don't know.
I think like it's hard to say, right? Like I was a wrestler and I'm glad that I had those opportunities. And I think that it definitely instilled in me because like it's not a very easy or glamorous sport. Like it just instilled in me like, yo, some things just suck. Right. And like it was a thing I enjoyed and I was like, this kind of sucks. Right. And kind of like comedy too. It's like, fuck, I gotta stand in front of these people and try to make them laugh about this thing. And it's like, the grind is something that like I'm used to. So like I'm sitting in a grindy situation, just like this isn't that bad. Like I'm the dog with the fire in the background. Everything's fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I don't know how much things swing you in either any direction. It's a great point.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's certainly a lot to be said for opportunities
Mm-hmm.
and various privileges and stuff. But I just think if you're a screw up, you're going to be a screw up. just
Yeah,
kind of, just kind
yeah.
of no matter where you're at.
And like
Uh,
kind of also going back to earlier in the conversation, if you're just going to complain, you're going to complain. Like you could have silk sheets and kombucha, but like if you're going to bitch about everything, like it doesn't matter what you have. Like that's just you're gonna dwell on the bad, I guess. Yeah, man. We really think we really cracked this one wide open, my friend.
Right. Got a lot of time to think while I'm listening to baby scream.
Yeah.
Last half a year. So
Yeah. No, I mean that makes sense. And like I feel like we're in this I mean, I could be wrong, but like I feel like we have to be in a renaissance, right? Like we just have to be. People are at home, like the creative types are getting more creative, the people that aren't. But like I don't know, like I tried to learn how to play guitar, like I'm doing different shit that like I wouldn't have done if I had a commute. So maybe.
part of me, it's weird because part of me is glad I'm not single during this, but the other part of me is like, God damn, if this couldn't happen when I was 25, the amount of like creative shit I would have got done.
Yeah, yeah.
I just I just don't get much done now. Like sometimes I'm like, I'll get like I'm old
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, whole
I've
family.
I've learned to accept my late, but I have like hours. Like I squeeze this in. You know what I mean? Like I can find time to
Sure.
do. I'm not. By the time I'm done, it's like it's hard for me to sit there and like oh, I'm gonna pick the guitar up or I just end up watching a basketball game.
Yeah. Look, look, man. Hey, that's part of it too, man. There's a lot of shit going on in this world, man. Like it's not easy to just take your time and apply it to something, you know, especially like you said, as we get older, it's like, what am I, like,
Especially because you can go to your Alexa and queue up 2 albums worth of shit I put out. You know what I mean? So it's not
yeah,
like I do my thing. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm now I look back and I'm like, yeah, I tried that shit, and
yeah,
but now I can if I don't I left something tangible creatively is how I feel.
no, I agree. Look, and there's a reason I'm talking to you, right? It's not like you didn't do anything. It's like, oh, there's that guy that didn't do anything. Let me get him on the podcast. It's like, nah, yeah,
It's hard to do stuff now. If I was more motivated, man, I could, but it's
yeah. I,
I don't know.
I think that's a chase that we're all gonna have in infinity, right? Like I do shit, but like you just know yourself, right? Like I say the same things. Like I could do more shit, but it's like I don't know. Like at a certain point, is that really the end game? Is that like the goal? Like is that actually going to yield the results that you want, or is spending a little bit of downtime for kids, is spending a little just downtime for yourself? Is that something that you need? Like you just might, man. Like we can't always be in production mode like that. It'll drive you crazy too.
Yeah, that's what I miss pre-pandemic, just like going to the co-op. Even like people that didn't know me well, like that guy just does the open mic at the co-op once a week. Like yeah, I'm not really pursuing anything, but I need to scratching the itch is fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
No,
like,
man, and
and
like, look,
even when it was terrible, it was like just I don't know.
but like that's it. You know, even if it's just a toe, your toes in the game. There's people that log 5,000 hours, right? That just stop, right?
Yeah,
If if you're constantly doing this thing, you're doing it. I think the problem is we try to measure based off of like the upper echelon of success, right? Like everyone that's a comic is like Pryor, Kevin Hart, fucking
right.
Attell. It's like, bro, that's 20 people in the history of time that we're all looking at like, well, why am I not doing this so well? It's like you're doing what 98%
Right.
of people that ever did this did, man. Like this is not, it's not, it doesn't happen, man. Like how many people have thrown a football? How many people can you name that have been in the NFL? It's we can't measure ourselves up against like the greatest example of the art that you've like. Look, man, the mom, like my mom's been sewing again, right? She makes masks now, and she's not selling or anything like that. But like she makes masks, they look just as good as masks I bought from people, and I'm like, damn, man, my mom can sew. And like for me, like getting the little mask in the mail is like, wow, this is look at this thing from my mother. It's like that affected at least me. Is that enough? Like if you made 5 people say, you know what, I'm gonna give like rapping a try, or like I'm gonna like listen to more hip hop. Yeah, no, you did your job. You came on this planet, you contributed.
I'll think about like the guys, some of the dudes I met along the way that I know didn't end up anywhere good. It's like I can't even. It's hard to even imagine.
But
Like
like
you
there's
meet
guys
some
that you
characters.
know that were nice with it though. Like you're like, yo, this person could be Kanye, and it's just like they just won't be, right? And there's no real reason why not.
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. I'm not even a big Kanye fan, but I got to give him his credit. Like Kanye is kind of a one of one guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
not totally he is.
So I don't know if I know anyone that could have been Kanye, but I could have I could have been more. I had bad timing. Like the shit I put out should have came out like 10 years earlier.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I was
That's good.
just, it took me a long time to make that album. That was part of the problem. I was
Yeah, well,
partying. I was a partier when I got the series of CDs I made. I put a compilation out of the best of this. There was 3 CDs I put out from
mhm.
2002 to like 2006, and I took what I liked the best off them and put those out on Spotify and Alexa and all that shit. What was the point? I don't remember where I was going
Yeah.
with that.
Well, I'll make a point here, right? Like I'm a fan of Mac Miller. I like what he did, and some of the music he made. Like that last album he made was fucking fantastic. But like, let me tell you something, man. Would you rather die before you're 30 or have 3 kids and a fucking family and like, like sure, some
Yeah.
random backpackers like that's my favorite rapper, or you know, like
There
it
was a
matters.
period when I was in like my early 20s. There was a period of time where I was like, it was when I was on unemployment living in the hood. Like I kind of did the rap thing just full time because I had the unemployment for like
Mhm.
the necessities for like a while. And like I remember thinking, but I could not handle, and I was single as can be, but I'm not responsible when I'm single. And
Sure.
so it hit me one day. I was like, yo, if all I had to do was rap for a living and just tour like half the year, I'm like, I'm gonna overdose. Like there's no way I'm like surviving this.
I hear you, man. Like I even in my own life, I've kept those guardrails up, which is like I like that I have a 9 to 5 gig because my worst impulses don't get played out. Like I get to like kind of make believe like I'm still kind of like, in just out there, but it's like, no, I gotta wake up at 8 o'clock on Monday so I can fucking clock in, right? Like I don't know, man. Like it's like, but we already know this because like you've met people at high levels of rap. I've met people at high levels of comedy, and like it's the same shit. You clock in the same exact way, and like yeah, maybe you have more accolades, but like it doesn't always make you happier, right? Like we all fit into this world some way, right? And we're not all gonna be the greatest to ever do it. But like, no, you put something out there. I think that we're in a consumer society. Like most people wake up every day and they're like, what's the next bullshit I'm gonna shovel into my face that's on some streaming service or on, Spotify. And let me complain about someone isn't as good as someone 50 years ago. And it's just like, bro, like at least you made something, dude. Like that's hard to do. It's hard to fucking put something out there and say, hey, this is what I did. Like that's the most difficult thing on this planet.
It takes a it take it. You just have to have that in you. I think I've
Yeah.
like you've met people like, oh man, it applies to everything. Like, oh man, I'd love to try comedy, but I just yeah. I'm like, well, I don't know. If you're not gonna do it, then just don't do it.
Right. Right.
Or do
Like
it. But I feel like if you're gonna try to do it, you would have tried it before telling me this.
right, right. Like if you're gonna do it, to your point, you're gonna do it, right? Like you telling me I want to try stand up, and then I explain to you that like there is no barrier to you doing that.
Right.
And then be
Right.
like, well, and it's like, well, no, I don't know because like I was in your space and I said the same thing. I want to try stand up, and someone basically told me the exact same bullshit, which is like, why are you telling me go do it? And then I did it. Now I might not be the best at it, but like I met plenty of nice people like yourself. I met plenty of people that inspired me and stuff like that. And like, I'm doing this crazy ass podcast. It's like, whatever, right? And it's just like, you can do everything you want to, but you're afraid to. And that's okay. Like, I'm afraid to do a lot of things, but
Some people just talk a lot of shit too. Some people like talking shit, and I'm a bit of a shit talker, but
me too.
I don't out and out lie. Like I
Right.
don't know. I don't
Right.
know. But like, yeah, I know so many people that now it's too late. These are guys that are my age. Like now, like you haven't tried it by 40, you're probably not going to try it. Prove me wrong. It's be the inspiring exception to this. But
Yeah. Yeah.
you were going to
Look,
try.
hey,
You were going to
they,
try to like do a rap battle or try to do stand up or whatever, and you still haven't tried it at 40. You're just not.
yeah. Look, and this isn't a great example because he did stand up before, but like Dangerfield stopped. He sold fucking siding
Right.
for like 20 years. He
That's what I'm
came back
saying.
and he's one of the goats.
But he is an exception. It's not a lot of stories like that, you know.
No, no, no. And that's really what it comes down to, right? Like, unfortunately, because of the world that we're in, we're constantly measuring ourselves against these unrealistic standpoints like Instagram and stuff like that. It's like it's very easy to be like doing some bullshit. Like I've been on comedy shows and I could take an Instagram photo. It's like, the grind continues. And I'm like, outside some college show, it was like, I made $15 and actually I lost 80 because it took me, I had to buy a plane ticket or something. Like it's all relative, man. Like whatever works for you is really what all this comes down to. And if you have an art and you want to do it, just fucking do it. And it doesn't really matter the outcome.
I used to have guys that would like try to like it was like friends of friends that would be like, can you teach me how to rap? And they'd send me their stuff and I'd be like, you have the basics down. You just gotta, I don't know, you have a vision, right? And you come to find out some people just don't have a vision.
Yeah.
Also, they want to do stuff, but they don't, there's nothing, they don't have I don't know. Like people would ask me, how do you learn to make beats? I'm like, I just kind of had an idea in my head and figured out how to do it through trial and error, basically. Like it's I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And I
once
mean,
you have the technical basics down of something, then it's on you. You know.
yeah. Yeah. And I mean, there's things that like, even me, like I'm talking all this shit, but like there's like a screenplay somewhere up here that I haven't put down yet, right? Like, and that's a fear that I have not overcome yet. But like the more I think about it, I was like, well, that's stupid. Like I was bad at a lot of different things and I got better at them. Like I tuned the guitar again today. I was like, this sounds like shit. But it's gonna sound like less like shit the more I play. So, it is what it is, man. I think you know, we're unique in the sense that we've tried things, but we're not that unique. Like I don't think I'm that great.
Right.
I'm a decent comic, but I'm not like a world beater yet.
Yeah. Some people just have that, like you and I, obviously, because of what we're talking about. Have it's just the thing where like you see something and you're like, oh, I can do that. I'm gonna try that. Like, and some people just don't have that impulse. It's weird. I've
No.
talked to them and found that out. And I don't know. Are you playing? Are you learning? Are you playing an electric guitar or acoustic or what?
I'm doing the acoustic because it's harder, but like I want to get an electric so I can sound good.
Electric is so much more fun,
I
I find.
know
I
that's
play
why.
I play electric like not well. Like I could play. I'm way out of practice. I need time to practice, but I could play for a it could only be thrash music and
Nice.
it thrash metal and it'd have to be and I could play only the rhythm section and we would have to be a pretty bad band. But I can do some fun stuff. I did it to learn to like make rap beats with it. Like
Nice.
I just basically started sampling myself playing guitar and doing just different stuff with it. A lot of I told people I was gonna combine rap and metal and it wasn't gonna be corny, and no one believed me. It took me like 4 years and I finally figured it out.
Nice. Nice. So
But I should put that shit out at some point.
then Hollywood fucking dead or whatever they're called took your shit. No, I'm just kidding. whatever they're called, Hollywood Undead or something like that. But no,
Mhm.
man. Look, it's that's it, right? Like you saw something, you're like, I want to try it. Like I'm playing the acoustic because I'm like, it's harder, so I just want to try the hard thing because like I don't want to get an unrealistic sense of what I can do. And yeah, it's fucking hard. And now I want to go do something fun with the skill set I'm like half-ass learning. So
I've never spent that much time with the acoustic. It's just not that. It's not. I don't like that much. guitar music. My brother, both of my brothers, two of my brothers are both pretty good guitar players.
Nice.
My younger brother plays like my older brother played in a band in college and stuff, but he's like pretty good at all kinds of guitar. My younger brother plays like acoustic, folksy stuff, but he's in a band too. But it's that kind of like I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know urban music. I don't know how to explain this stuff he does, but um I don't remember my point, but I like Metallica and like three other bands, and that's like I heard that and I was like I got bored like making rap beats after a while.
Right.
And I was like 29 or something. And I was just like Metallica came out with an album that I liked at the time, and I just was like I would try to learn to play this stuff.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
spent a few years doing that.
Well, like I love rap music and stuff like that, but like honestly, I've basically embraced like hipsterdom a while ago. So like I like all this indie shit. Like I was playing Post Malone's Circles on my acoustic guitar today. I was like I just like that sound, that chill shit. Like fuck, I forget the kid's name now. Man, he has this song called fuck. Well, that's gonna bother me.
Probably don't know it anyway.
That's all good. Oh yeah, there's a guy named Vance Joy. He's got this song called Riptide, and it fucking it shreds. It just does.
I've been listening. You familiar with Aesop Rock?
Oh yeah,
I just been listening to his last album pretty much nonstop since it came out.
nice, nice. I mean,
it's like
that's
I listened to. I had the new Public Enemy on rotation for a while.
sick. I've been dipping in and out of Pusha T's Daytona. I like that. I like the sound of that album.
Yeah, I haven't heard it. I listened to the new Pharaoh Monch, but I wasn't that crazy. I don't. It's with like a band, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know. It's not how I would make rap beats with a band. That's all.
True.
Some of it's cool. It's not bad. It's cool. It's just you could do so much more with it, I feel like. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna leave you with this. Anytime I'm hanging out with like Tito, he's always got like just killer music, and he put me on to this guy Rio Fiku's album called Scenery, and it's like a guy who taught himself how to play piano, and he put out like this masterpiece album when he was like 25 or something like that. I'm like, well, I'm much older than that now. Not much older, but older. I'm like, I want to do something like that. I want to like teach myself some bullshit and then be like, oh, I mastered this thing, and people talk about it 40 years later. And I think that's kind of like all of our dreams. Like, you don't need to give me my flowers now, but if I can leave something behind, it was worth it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Bob. That's what. Oh my goodness.
Yep. Wait, man, I know you got a family and kids and shit like that. I got food I've been baking that's probably burning this whole time.
My wife is sending me pictures of the one baby is awake having a good old time right now.
Nice.
The girl, this little baby girl looks just like me. It's freaky.
Man. Hey man, it's a fucking blessing, dude. Congratulations, dude. Any social medias or anything you need to plug?
Yeah, just the Twitter is Seth_Michael45 at Twitter. And then check out I put out it's called The Best of No Subways in Jersey.
I listened someday.
By the Wrist. It's on all streaming services. It's stuff I made when I was a lunatic young man.
That's like 3 volumes, right?
It was, yeah, but it's a lot of it's way too weird to be. A lot of it will never see the light of day, but the stuff I find presentable now, I put out there. So listen to that if you want. I get like 0.0001 cent per stream. So
yeah, so you're gonna retire on that. You're gonna put that in GameStop.
There you go.
Well, hey man, thanks for joining me. I know kind of weird timing because we had to do this late, but I appreciate you coming on, and I think this was good. It's good. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. It's a pleasure because every time I'd go on Farley's podcast, I never had a night you were on it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Farley, whatever that was like something, man. I didn't have the bandwidth at the time.
Yeah, I bailed on it early both times we did it. I was just like, yo, I gotta go.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Well,
had plans. His had a format. He's like, we're playing this game now for the next 45 minutes.
yeah, formats are good. I just wanted this one to be loose, and I think that's been working out for me.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. I'll let you know when it comes out, and as always, bro, thanks a lot, and we out.